Hi there, I'm back, and this is Higher Power Raw Foods, and our series is called In a Nutshell. We hope that you've been enjoying this. I think this is our 9th episode of In a Nutshell, and today it's a little, each week it seems to get a little more ambitious, and today we're doing veggie burgers. We're featuring walnuts this month. We sprout them, dry them, and offer them available to you. They're $1 off for the 12-ounce bag, and then you can go on Facebook and also find other deals that will help you save some money. So today we have veggie burgers, and I'm going to start with the veggies because I have been playing with this recipe, and I realized to put all this stuff in one food processor is ambitious. So we're going to just do the veggies first, throw them in a bowl, and then we'll grind up the nuts. Now typically when I make this, I don't really measure things. I just throw it in a bowl in the mixer, but for you guys I needed to come up with some measurements so it wouldn't feel that way for you. And a lot of times when I'm juicing, I use the pulp of the juice that I've just made, and I use that along with other, but today I'm making using fresh vegetables. So let's get started. So I'm going to throw in, this is about 3 cups of carrots, and that figures out to be about between 12 and 14 ounces. And I'm going to throw in the celery too, and the celery is 5 stalks of celery. And then the onion, it's 1 medium onion, and I chop everything beforehand so the food processor doesn't have to work so hard. We want to keep that lasting for a while. So I'm going to add to this mixture 1 cup of softened, dried tomatoes that I did soak overnight, and I drained them thoroughly. So I'll add that to the mix. And then I put in about 4 ounces of beets, and that adds color. I won't tell you what it looks like when it's done, but you'll see for yourself. But this is about 1/2 of a medium-sized beet. Throw that in. And then we'll add the parsley. I did a bunch of parsley, and this bunch was rather small. So, you know, you can, at this point, you can add cilantro if you prefer that, and if you want more parsley. So I'm going to blend this all up. Now I'm going to add a cup of the wet flax. So I've soaked this overnight as well. It's I use the brown flaxseed. I do like the golden. It isn't as strong of a flavor. I prefer that in my crackers. Okie dokie. That looks pretty good. I think we'll take that out and put it in a bowl. And then we'll add the dry ingredients. And this makes a lot, but what I like about that is that you have, if you're in a hurry, you have a meal, you can just go in the refrigerator, and I'll show you the different condiments that can be used, as well as the fixins, which I personally believe is the reason why you eat burgers in the first place. Not for the burger, but for all the fixins. So, there's that. Now we're going to add this. So these have been soaked and over about 14 hours, and then rinse thoroughly, and then they go into dehydration for 3 days. And those were walnuts, and these are U.S. pumpkin seeds, again soaked overnight, and then rinse thoroughly. And they only go in for 1 day. And the sunflower seeds are also sprouted, and they actually will sprout. So now I'm going to add, I have 3 tablespoons of pizza seasoning. I get this at my local co-op, and it's just a nice blend. It does have fennel and oregano, basil, and some chili flakes as well. I don't know, there's other ingredients too, but It's really a nice blend if you ever make pizzas. It's a great blend. And then a tablespoon of oregano and a tablespoon of basil and 2 tablespoons of dried onion. This is optional. I just like the little crunchiness it adds, little flavor. And then a 1/2 cup of the hemp seeds. And a teaspoon of Himalayan salt. Now, all the things that I have added are all organic. I only use the finest quality organic ingredients in everything I do. Now I like that consistency. There's a little crunchiness to it. And we'll just mix this all up. This makes between 15 and 18 burgers. And I do about 3 to 4 ounces. I roll up the balls. They can be a little sticky. So you wash your hands periodically while you're making them, and then it won't be so bad. But today this looks pretty good. Okay. Now we'll blend this all up. And at this point I like to taste it to see if it needs anything, because and you could also add garlic if you wanted to, blend that in as well, garlic powder. There's a number of things you can add if you'd like. Just use your creativity and your desire for what you want it to taste like. So I like the texture of this today. I'd much rather have it with some texture than smooth. So I'm going to leave it this way. It is a little moist, so don't be alarmed by that, because they do dehydrate nicely, as you will see right here. These were in for about 12 hours, and they are still a little soft in the center, but they're still good. And I'll show you in a minute what we're going to do. So right now let's just try tasting this. You can't taste it, but I can. And let's see where it's at. It's good. I don't think I would add another thing, but that's up to you. So, and again, it's your work of art, so you can add and enhance or whatever you need to do. So I'm going to make some balls and mash them up a little bit. Put it on the tray. So you can get about 6 to 8 on the tray here. And and you can make them bigger if you choose to do that too. I'm not a mean teacher. Okay, so now I'm going to show you. That's what you're going to put into the dehydrator, and as I said, they'll go in at 115 degrees for about 12-13 hours. So if you put them in overnight, if you put them in the morning, just make sure you check them periodically. You might want to flip them. Yes, we flip our burgers. But the great thing about our burgers, they're plant-based, high in fiber, and great for you too, very heart healthy. So we're always aiming for that. So what I'm doing, this is the bun. And the bun is 1 leaf of romaine. And I will put a finished burger on there. Now, at this point, I made some sun-dried tomato ketchup, and I'll tell you about that. I added a cup of the softened dried tomatoes, and then I put in 1/3 of a cup of yellow onion, and a teaspoon of salt, and 1 to 2 tablespoons of vinegar, and then about 1.5 cups of water, and also 1/4 cup of dates. And again, make sure they're pitted and soft, because you can throw that in if you have a blender, that's the best, and blend it all up and add that water. And as I said, a 1.5 cups of water. You might need a little more. Now this is what that recipe made, and it's a little thick, but you can spread this right on your burger, and that looks delicious already. And also you could put pesto on there. I also, last week when I made the spinach walnut dip, we did put some dip on our burgers, and we like that as well. So there are many options for what you can top it with. And again, you don't even need to do that. I have some red onion here, put that on top, a tomato or two, depending on if you like tomatoes, and then avocado, which is a nice little treat to add to that. And then I put in the microgreen on the top to top it all off. Some microgreens, and so you've got something that's really nutritious and also tastes good too, which is cool. Now I wanted to mention too that I took some golden flax and I ground it up in the Vitamix, and as you can see, it's very ground. And I was concerned that this might be too wet, this recipe, so I had this on hand in case I needed it, but I realized I didn't need it. So you don't want to add a lot of flax, or flax will overtake the flavors. So you want to be sure to just put that 1 cup of the wet. And the wet one is really thick, so you don't want to add it, you don't want the flax to be runny. So that is it. Now, should I eat in front of you guys? Because this looks pretty darn good. And I'm going to take a bite. Who's the cook? Great job. Anyway, this is delightful. And I hope you feel the same way. So if you have any questions about this recipe or comments, please feel free to let us know. So you saw all the different ingredients that we had in all those bowls, and it was, quite honestly, it was daunting for me. I thought, oh my gosh, I just thought it was a lot. But you saw how fast it all went, and it really is an easy recipe. And as I said, you're going to have these, you can put them in a bag in the refrigerator or even freeze them, and you can pull it out. And I'm telling you, there are many days where I do enjoy having these on hand, because the last thing I want to do after a work day is prepare a meal. So it's a great way to have a nutritious meal. Thank you for joining us. Nice to see you again.